Selam aleik, gospodine Munire.
Alaikum salam. Are we doing this in Bosnian or in English?
In English, man.
In
Did
English.
you not
English.
know that the word gospodin actually has English origins?
No, no, but I
It
know that
does, man.
English is now lingua franca of the world, where you have about 2 billion people probably that can speak English out of 7 or 8.
Well, it originated. It's Latin roots, but it's English. You know, ends, and it has the word go in it, as in proceed forward. Spo, which is a Latin word, and deen, which is an Arabic word for faith. So yes, the word gospodin is English origin.
I choose to disagree.
Man, how's the day so far? It's bright and early, 8 a.m. In St. Louis. Not really bright and early, I guess, but it's bright and earlier than the beautiful Sarajevo, right?
It is. It is for I guess couple of hours, not just couple of hours, for like 6, 7, 8 hours now. We have it's a sunny day out there. It's like 20 degrees Celsius. It's
Nice.
very hot for March. If you remember last year, you were throughout this at least 1 month in the spring. You were here, and if you remember, it was just rain and rain and rain, nothing else. It was like we're living in Ireland or in England. But this year is looking
I do
differently.
remember.
We'll see what's gonna happen.
I do remember
How's
there was literally like 20 days in a row of rain or something close to it.
right? It was. I think in June was first real day of the sun. It's like a
Yeah.
Twilight movie. If you watched it,
No, man, I only watch manly movies.
you only watch manly movies. Well,
Yeah.
I thought you were a kid once.
While you were watching Twilight, I was watching Braveheart and Gladiator over and over again.
Well, I'm living in Bosnia. You're living in U.S. What's Bosnia? What's U.S.? Just like let's compare it. Like m- man to man.
Did you like the latest Barbie movie?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, I didn't watch it, man.
I like the gender equality part. That was my favorite part.
Right.
Oh man, it's scary world from that angle. The push on every angle. There was a there's a college basketball player who recently broke the like all-time most amount of points in a college basketball career. That was previously like the all-time of all genders, of both genders. And it was just such nationwide news, and it was so pushed, like how she did it and how it's amazing. Um, the majority of men, of guys that go to college to play basketball that have ability to be good, um, leave college after a year and they enter the NBA. Whereas this woman is doing all 4 of her years or whatever. But it's just, when there's an opportunity to talk about gender and this and that, they shove it down the throat.
Right.
I'm personally not a fan.
Right. People nowadays they really tend to choose words when they speak about something like that. For us, it's simple because it's simple as it is. And I see in US right now a lot of, I don't know if it's on the Twitter because Elon Musk allowed it, but a lot of people are actually more rational than before, or
Right.
more. There's nothing really to it. The word offensive or whatnot is not being tossed around as it was before, because just use your mind and you see some things are just rational as it is without offending anyone or anything. and
Right.
and that's it, and you move on.
Well, things that were uniformly accepted by all cultures, religions, races for thousands of years are all of a sudden, in a matter of 10 years, being challenged on a level where, depending on where you live, um, accepting that new norm is a requirement, in some cases, and that I think is what people are pushing back on. Um, I mean, U.S. is all about live and let live for most part. Um, as a Muslim that's been living here for 20 plus years, I've enjoyed the same freedoms as I would in any Muslim country. To be honest, maybe even more so
More.
than most Muslim countries.
Yeah, let's be honest, man. More. Way
Yeah,
more.
but when live and let live turns to live and force others to live the way you live, I mean that's anti-American. Like as a Muslim, I cannot force others to comply to my beliefs. I cannot force others to, act the way that I want them to act as if they were Muslim too. So that's what people are pushing back on. I mean, if people want to believe whatever they want to believe, I mean, I suppose that's what,
Yeah.
is
Back to
that's
the
what US stands for.
indeed, back to the logic of what we discussed yesterday when that guy said I am the opposite of progress. And
Right.
if progress is moving forward, I'm all for it. But if progress is moving forward for you and not for me, then your progress is gonna bash on into my wall.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir. Okay. So yesterday was a weird day. Um, the system crashed on us, and we all tasted the bitterness of doing stuff without the advanced tools we've built. What was that experience like?
Yeah, it wasn't easy. When we caught up to it, when we realized, we're having a system issues because not everything that we usually have is going into our software, meaning the loads that are posted out there. We really had all hands on deck to resolve that as soon as possible. We went and for a small period of time, we spent bidding the old way, as we call it, and but thankfully it did not last for long. In the end, we managed to book 44 loads, and I believe, and I'll take this chance to apologize to our drivers that were not booked yesterday. And I see today already started amazing, and rest assured we're gonna do everything to get you guys moving. But um, when these type of issues happen, they can happen to anyone in any other company in their own way, and once in a while they happen, once in a blue moon, as they say, and they happened to us yesterday, and we were, our software was not properly working for a bit, and in the end, I guess maybe 20% of our drivers that would be booked were not booked yesterday. We have to face that fact.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's we're catching up. We're catching up. It's just been an hour in the what we call prime time or business hours. It's just been an hour. We already moved 10 guys. We already booked 10 loads so far in 1 hour. So, that's I think we're catching up to what we didn't do yesterday. It's hard to it's difficult to we cannot go back in past and bring this day and do it all over again. But what we can is for the next 4, 5, 6 days in this week to make sure that we overcome and we um, do better. So it wasn't felt, but it wasn't felt for 44 of our drivers, but for some of them, for some other drivers, and I already checked, they're still waiting. You guys are priority, and we'll get to you soon.
Yeah. So what you're saying is if you want to have a good start to a day, just make the app crash the day before so we can't book that many loads.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Is that the
Yeah,
secret to success?
not really, not really. But I guess you get additional or additional push once you're struck by a problem, any kind of problem. There are some problems that our drivers experience that are completely out of anyone's hands, and something insurance people call acts of God, and they know how it's like when there's a delay they cannot do anything about, when there's an accident in front of them and they cannot move for the next 2 3 hours. And for us as well, because we live in a modern time, if the software crashes, then you need to go as a cave people, as they say, and just go back in time and try to come up with ways how to book drivers, as many other actually companies do. They just book
Right.
drivers through emails.
Yeah, it's once you lose the advanced tools you've built, it really serves as a reminder of how convenient and easy those tools made your life. So yesterday we ended with 44 loads, uh, at 11.7% win ratio. So again,
It's not bad.
uh-huh,
It's
yeah.
not bad. The win ratio is not bad, but
So out of 100 bids where we won, 11 or 12 of them or whatever is what that would mean for people trying to understand what that win ratio means.
right.
Um, it's impressive that we still managed to finish the day with an average day, maybe a tad bit under of what we've been seeing lately. Because looking at the amount of loads that we actually, processed into our app, comparing yesterday to Monday, the amount of loads that were imported was literally half yesterday compared to the previous Monday. And the amount of loads we booked was about 10 less, which, sometimes it's because of just other factors and kind of luck and other things that play a role. But yeah, today we're expecting a big day. Obviously, the priority remains drivers that have been waiting for a long period of time. We want to get them booked and get them moving. I'm actually chatting with one of our drivers now who's recommending an update to the app to where if they make a state red, that would mean no pickup or delivery in that state. They're saying that in their case, their red states are often red because of the high tolls, so that they don't want to pick up there either and have to deal with those tolls. My initial assumption was just that always for people who put states red, it's because they don't want to get stuck there.
Is that Melody that's texting you?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm aware of the issue actually. Yeah, I think we're doing something about it already in our.
Well, I don't know what to do about it because, like I said, I still think that the 9 out of 10 drivers, when they put something red, it's because they don't want to get stuck there. So I'm imagining if somebody is, on the border of Kansas and Colorado and they have Colorado red, I'm sure they don't mind crossing over into Colorado to pick up a load and deliver it to whatever, Illinois. So if we make red mean no pickup or delivery, then they lose an opportunity to get a load that really they wouldn't have minded.
Right. The only option here is to have that choice again. No pickup or both pickup or delivery. But again, do we have to go in that route because might be this might be not okay for Melody, but is okay for 99 other drivers. And yeah, that's the
Yeah,
case.
so I mean, one thing we could do is when they're setting their dispatch settings, when they click on a state, it gives them two options, no pickup, no delivery, and then like a third option saying no both or like check boxes or something.
Right.
Um, but that would just make the map setting a bit longer, because for every state they click on, they have that additional prompt. Now you can, when you click on the red, then it gives you an option to do, no pickup, no delivery, or no both. And then when you choose there, then you label the states. But it's just then it's not very intuitive. So that's some of the challenges of these things. Sometimes And the feedback people give us is priceless. It's awesome. I love it. But it's
Indeed.
just then trying to figure out how to implement it in a way that, covers every scenario. Because a lot of times people just thinking of one scenario will provide feedback and say, well, when this is happening, then this would be really helpful. But it's like, okay, but what about when the other, nine things are happening that could happen?
Right.
We will do the mental gymnastics on that. Um, cool, man. Anything else you want to go over?
Um, not really. Not really.
Any words of wisdom?
Words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom. Um, everyone who doesn't have one a message to our drivers. I've seen an increase in loads in and out of Canada this week and maybe at the end of the last week. Um, However, I know some drivers had the Canadian states, even Ontario and Quebec, as yellow or red due to winter. I think now the weather is clearing and we're not gonna experience any harsh conditions soon. Just go back, and that's another really big pool of revenue that we need to explore. Usually loads going in and out of there are paid 20% better. Going there $1.20, $1.30, $1.10, going out of there down to dollars. So it's way better than doing loads 70 cents a mile from Texas to Tennessee or something like that. So guys, just go. Canada has always been a good for BHX. 30-40% of our loads are in and out of Canada. Do not let yourself waste those loads.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the price difference is humongous. Where it's literally, I don't know, 30% higher. So if you blow that up over 10 loads, you can make the same amount of money doing 7 loads to Canada as you can doing 10 loads across the US. So it definitely pays to do that.
Indeed.
Cool, man. We'll conclude there. Have a good day.
You too,
Salam
sir.
alaikum.
Alaikum salam.